Maya Thompson never meant for her life to fall apart before 9 a.m. But as she stood frozen in the middle of the marketing office, her phone still pressed to her cheek, she knew the universe had just handed her the biggest humiliation of her lifetime. Yeah, I know, she whispered to her best friend on the call. My new boss is hot, okay. But also stupid. He literally asked for a full campaign proposal by noon. Who does he think I am, a machine? Silence. Not the giggling response she expected. Just terrifying, suffocating silence. Maya. But it wasn't coming from her phone. It was coming from behind her. She turned slowly, already feeling her soul leaving her body. There he stood, Ethan Hale, her new boss, her billionaire CEO boss, her billionaire CEO single boss, her billionaire CEO single boss who just heard her call him hot and stupid. He crossed his arms, leaning against her cubicle wall like a judge about to announce her sentence. Hot and stupid, he repeated calmly, like he was tasting the words. Maya's knees nearly snapped. She choked on air. I thought I was on mute. His eyebrow lifted, clearly. Her entire life flashed before her eyes. Every unpaid bill, every rent increase, every medical debt from her mother's last hospital visit. She needed this job more than oxygen. Sir, I swear, But Ethan just raised a finger. She quieted instantly. Then the most unexpected thing happened. He smiled. Not a small smirk, not an arrogant grin, a genuine, amused, warm smile. Well, he said, tapping his folder. The stupid boss wants to see that campaign by noon. He turned to leave, but the hot boss is flattered. Maya collapsed into her chair the moment he left. She was so done. Ethan Hale wasn't the boss she expected. Instead of barking orders, he actually listened. Instead of criticizing, he asked questions. Instead of sitting in his glass office all day, he walked around the workspace like he wanted to understand everyone. And that terrified Maya more than an angry boss ever could. Because he was kind. Because he was smart. Because he was heartbreakingly handsome. Because he was the exact type of man she'd promised herself she would never fall for. She didn't have time for romance. Not with her mother's medical bills piling up. Not with her 2 part-time jobs barely holding her above water. Not with her entire life depending on this job. But Ethan, he saw her. Really saw her. And that was dangerous. 1 week after the hot and stupid incident, the team prepared for their biggest presentation of the year. A luxury company was about to choose a long-term marketing partner, and Ethan trusted Maya with the central pitch. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. But the night before the presentation, Maya received a phone call that cracked her heart in two. It was the hospital. Her mother had collapsed. By the time Maya reached the emergency room, doctors told her that they needed to run expensive tests she couldn't afford. Not even close. She sat outside the hospital room, quietly crying, feeling like she was failing her mother, failing herself, failing everything. A shadow fell over her. Maya, she knew that voice instantly. Ethan, her heart stopped. What are you doing here? You didn't show up for the final prep, and you didn't answer your phone. His expression softened when he saw her tears. Talk to me. She didn't want to. She didn't want her powerful billionaire boss to see her crumbling. But something about his presence, steady, calm, sincere, made the words spill out. My mom. The tests, I can't afford any of it. Ethan didn't let her finish. Go be with your mother. I'll handle the presentation. Maya stared at him. But, no arguments, he said gently. Family comes first. Her chest tightened. Thank you. He nodded once. Text me if you need anything. Anything. The word felt heavier than it should have. The next morning, Maya rushed into the hospital room with breakfast for her mother, only to find her mom sitting up with a huge smile. Good news. Her mother beamed. They ran all the tests last night. Maya froze. What? Mom? How? We didn't pay. Oh, someone covered it all, her mother said casually. A man named Ethan Hale. Everything around Maya blurred. He did what? She rushed to find him. When she finally reached the office, he was standing at his desk, reviewing documents like it was any ordinary day. You paid my mother's hospital bills, she said breathlessly. He looked up, calm as ever. Yes. Why? Her voice cracked. Why would you do that for me? Ethan put down his papers and met her gaze. Because you needed help, he said simply. And because you matter. Her breath hitched. You shouldn't have, she whispered. Maybe, he replied softly. But I wanted to. She felt her throat close. Gratitude, shock, warmth, confusion. It all swirled together until she couldn't breathe right. He stepped closer. Maya, he said quietly. You're not alone. Not anymore. Something inside her cracked open. But she pulled back. She had to. Ethan, you're my boss. Is that the only reason you're afraid? She couldn't meet his eyes. Because the real reason terrified her. She was afraid of needing someone. Afraid of loving someone. Afraid of losing someone. Just like she almost lost her mother. I can't, she whispered before rushing out of his office. But Ethan didn't chase her. He gave her space, and that somehow made her heart ache even more. 2 weeks later, the marketing campaign they worked so hard on was finally ready. Maya spent every night polishing the details, determined to prove herself. On the morning of the big pitch, she entered the conference room and froze. Ethan was already there, but he wasn't alone. Standing beside him was Camilla Rowan, the company's biggest investor's daughter, and rumored to be Ethan's future fiancée. Camilla was stunning, confident, and looking at Maya like she was gum stuck on her shoe. You must be the assistant, Camilla said with fake sweetness. I'm the campaign lead, Maya corrected politely. Camilla raised an eyebrow. Really? That's adorable. Before Maya could respond, Camilla looped her arm around Ethan's. So, she said loudly, should I come over tonight? Your penthouse misses me. Maya felt her stomach twist painfully. Ethan gently removed Camilla's hand. We talked about this. Don't make assumptions. Camilla pouted. Why? Because of her. Maya quietly gathered her notes, trying to look unaffected. The meeting was brutal. Camilla interrupted her 3 times. Criticized her ideas without listening. Rolled her eyes whenever Maya spoke. But Ethan, he defended Maya every single time. She's right. Let her finish. That's an excellent point, Maya. She's the reason this proposal is even possible. Hearing that was like a spark lighting inside her chest. After the meeting ended, Camilla stormed out. Maya stayed behind to pack her things. Ethan approached her slowly. You did incredible. Thanks. She forced a smile. Your fiancé didn't seem to think so. He frowned. Camilla is not my fiancé. Rumor says otherwise. I don't care about rumors. His voice lowered. I care about you. Maya swallowed hard. Ethan. She stepped back, heart racing too fast. I can't be another complication in your life. You're not a complication. You're the one thing that makes sense. Her breath trembled. Ethan. Please don't make this harder. He exhaled, defeated, but he didn't push her. He simply said, when you're ready, I'll be here. That night, Maya went home feeling emotionally shredded. She tried to distract herself, but her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Meet me outside. Her heart stopped. She stepped out of her apartment building and gasped. Ethan was leaning against his car, holding 2 cups of hot chocolate. You looked like you needed this, he said softly. How did you? You left the office crying, he said. I couldn't just ignore that. She looked away, embarrassed. My mom says I cry when I care too much. Then cry, Ethan said gently. No one gets to shame you for feeling. She took the cup from him, and their fingers touched. Just barely, yet it sent a warm shock up her arm. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, he said. So am I. She looked up at him. His expression wasn't cold, it wasn't arrogant, it wasn't demanding. It was human, real, vulnerable. Maya, he said, voice low, you call me hot and stupid again, I might just fall in love. She laughed. Really laughed, for the first time in weeks. He smiled, a real smile, and something shifted between them, something that felt like the beginning of everything. 3 months later, Maya stood backstage at the company's annual gala. She had been promoted to senior creative director. Her mother was recovering beautifully. Her life was finally steady. And Ethan, well, Ethan was still Ethan. Still caring, still quietly protective, still patient. And still waiting. As Maya adjusted her dress, she heard footsteps. Ethan appeared, wearing a tailored black suit that made him look like he stepped out of a magazine. You look. He stopped, swallowing. Perfect, she blushed. Thank you. Nervous, he asked. A little. He stepped closer. Remember what I told you the first week? He said softly. Anything you need, I'm here. She looked into his silver blue eyes. Support, warmth, devotion, love. It was all there. I'm ready, she whispered. But only if you're still willing to wait for someone like me. Ethan cupped her face gently. Maya, he murmured, I'm not waiting anymore. He kissed her, softly, slowly, deeply, and the world finally felt right. When they pulled apart, Maya smiled through happy tears. You know, she whispered playfully, you're still hot and sometimes stupid. Ethan laughed. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving you wrong. She wrapped her arms around him. Deal. Final message. Sometimes the people we think are too powerful, too perfect, or too far above us are the very people who see us the clearest. Kindness can come from unexpected places. Love can grow in the unlikeliest moments. And one embarrassing mistake can lead to the best chapter of your life.